be bothered to come home tonight. He's still in his lab, eyes glued to a computer. You aren't a passing thought in their minds."
The breeze stopped, the rush of air gone, and the world silent. The sky turned black. Asher pushed her away from his chest to flop onto the settee where he'd been holding her.
"The moment has passed, Briar, but there will be more. Remember that. No, actually, don't."
Briar couldn't wipe away the tears escaping her eyes. This was the worst part, the knowing. In a moment, she'd forget everything about this place. The only thing she'd keep was a feeling of dread that increased as the day grew to a close. But right now, she knew exactly what happened when she fell asleep every night. She knew Asher was waiting for her here, in this in-between place, to hurt her, and she knew she was helpless to stop him. Chapter 1. Briar. Briar opened her eyes to a dark, quiet room. Outside, cars rumbled by the house where she lived in Boston's Back Bay with 4 vampires. Her vampires.
"Morning."
Marcus's voice always sounded like he was smiling. Briar couldn't help smiling in return. She struggled to sit up from the mattress, a deep feathered monstrosity that was ridiculously comfortable. Yawning hugely, she squinted into the darkness to make him out. She found him in an overstuffed chair, a book dangling from his long, graceful fingers. "Morning," she said in reply. "What are you reading?" She yawned again, her head feeling thick and full, like she was still half asleep. Marcus didn't answer, but stood, crossing the room to her. Once at the bed, he sat, reaching for her face.
"You look pale this morning."
"I'm always pale," she joked, pushing back the covers. His gaze dropped to her pajama-clad chest reflexively, and he grinned.
"Nice jammies."
Briar glanced down at the t-shirt she'd worn. It was one of Sylvain's and smelled like him. Lifting the collar to her nose, she breathed in before she let it fall. The neck was stretched from her tossing and turning and fell off one shoulder. This was one of those mornings when getting up in the dark would be hard. She could tell already. Briar's condition, erythropoietic protoporphyria, caused her skin to burn and blister from just a touch of an ultraviolet ray. As a result, until she was in her UV-blocking clothes, all of the curtains in the house had to be drawn. Recently, however, she'd found out she didn't actually have EPP, but vampirism. Yep, she was a vampire, sort of. Back in early September, Hudson, one of her vampire, even now her mind sort of stuttered and squealed when she thought about it, boyfriends, discovered a mutation on Briar's chromosome. What the doctors had diagnosed as a syndrome? Well, it wasn't. She had a genetic mutation similar to vampirism, but without any of the cool things that went along with it, like super speed, or super hearing, or super long life, or super healing. Briar corrected the path her thoughts had taken. It wasn't all bad. At least she didn't have to drink blood to survive. And so she was allergic to the sun. She could deal with that. She was dealing with it, and quite well, too. Here she was in Boston, attending graduate school. Every day, she got up and attended Boston College. After her classes, she snuck down to Professor Hudson Norris's lab and helped him with his research. Life was really good right now. And if she was exhausted after a full night of sleep, that was normal. She was a graduate student with 1,000 things on her mind, not the least of which were 4 supernaturally handsome vampires who left her heart Twitter-pated.
"Can't," Marcus said suddenly.